Hi, welcome to Awake TV. So today, Sue and I are going to talk about the importance of finding passion in especially work. So, since we are all shifting closer and closer to 5D, a lot of people have chosen to find a joy in their life and finding joy is very close to finding the passion too. So I'm finding a lot of people are no longer resonating with the job they used to do, and then, trying to find their life purpose, what makes them feel joyful and passionate about. So we feel like it's a good, important to talk about this topic because, do hear a lot of people are losing passion in work situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. Do you want to start or do you want me to go?
mhm.
Okay. So last week we talked about getting in motion, just get in motion. And I've been patiently waiting for, the next step in my quantum healing business. And honestly, been a little bored lately, but also Um, because had been working a marketing job and doing this work from at home for over 6 years, I had just felt like I just need to be around people. So in my patiently waiting, I got impatient and then I just got into motion, right?
Mhm.
And I took a job at a restaurant and I was only there 2 weeks because um, it was going really great with the customers, which is really why I took the job because I was like, I want to get in motion, I want to get exercise, and I want to get to know these people in Leesburg where I live. And that was a success. And I had a great time interacting with customers. The thing that was a train wreck was the actual people I was working with. And I don't mean to like criticize anybody, but truly there are some businesses where people are in sort of like I don't want to say a paradigm, but a way of doing things and living life that is just not congruent with the way other people live life. And as I've been journeying for so long in this spirituality and personal healing and into ascension, um, to my higher self and to 5D and being more the embodiment of the Christ consciousness of my higher self and all of that, our monadic selves. That's what I think the definition of ascension is we're just embodying more of that. um, it's very grating to our energy to be around or doing some kind of work or being around people or in a situation where eh, the energy isn't even close. It's not even close. And it was like somebody took the coarsest sandpaper. I did. I took the coarsest energetic sandpaper and rubbed it against my energy fields. So, um, part of the job I was passionate about, and the rest of it, I was like, oh, hell no. What the heck did I do? Right? Getting into this. So I got back out of it. Right. And I don't regret it because, like I did want some forward motion and I did want to get to interact with people in my neighborhood in particular. And all those tools that I had, serving, waiting on tables from my college years came right back, no problem. Um, but the kicker is, and today's theme is, are you doing something you're passionate about? And when I realized that it wasn't going to work for me was when my sleep became disrupted. It just became totally disrupted. I was going to bed much later, and I was waking up much earlier and just feeling exhausted. And the mere thought of going to work was causing stress for me, anxiety. And it's because of
Mm.
the machinations. What goes on in restaurant is not much different from one place to another. If you're talking about fine dining, things may be a little bit less hectic as you're doing your job because people expect to wait a certain amount of time. But when you're in a place that's, busy, busy, busy all the time and people are just crawling all over and on top of each other, long story short, it didn't work out and that's okay. But, I have a session coming up scheduled here shortly that I'm very much looking forward to. This particular individual that I'm going to be working with, it's been about a year in the making, developing our relationship, talking to each other, and he happens to be a personal friend. Um, and I think that I've just needed to believe that when the time is right for my business to take off, that it will. And it's been in starts and spurts and pauses, but I've been so bored with a marketing job that it's just like I know I need to get out of it. It's been good to me. I'm grateful for it, but I'm not passionate about it anymore. And I used to be passionate about it, so I know that's my signal to move on. Um, so the motion, I took a motion in a direction that I thought I would be passionate about. I do like serving people. I just do. Um, but I hadn't remembered the craziness that is, working in restaurants. So, um, is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? What does it matter? We don't have to judge it. But what I'm trying to say to everybody is go ahead and get into motion and make that step if that's what you feel called to do. But also if you're not feeling passionate or, if you're like me, where just the mere thought of going to work the next day makes you go, oh gosh, I wish there were 5 more hours in the day before I had to go. Or you just don't want to go, or it's interrupting your sleep, or it's causing you anxiety, then, you know, maybe it's not for you. And sometimes, and I've done this a lot in my life, sometimes I bang on doors that are just not the right door for me. But you know what? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I don't think badly about it. And I did have some really good experiences when I tried it out in my 2 short weeks that I was there. Um, but yeah, I mean, truly, if we get to the point where we're doing having the relationships that we're passionate about, if we're having the work that we're passionate about, if we're doing any kind of creative thing because we're passionate about it, we're just natural. We don't even have to call it work. We can just call it we're doing something. This is our beingness. Um, and ultimately, I believe that's when we're going to know we're on the right path. Is when because I can't say that I've ever had a quantum healing session. That's my gig, right? I don't think I've ever had one where I walked away from it going, "Gee, this work just isn't for me." I've had um I've had sessions that have gone a long time, and that's why I never schedule more than one a day because I want to give the client as much time as they need. Um, so, but I never walked away from it. Yeah, I've walked away going, I'm tired, now I need to go rejuvenate, but I've never said, oh, what am I doing this work for? This is just causing me stress and anxiety and exhaustion. It isn't like that. So I know that's for me because I'm still passionate about it. And I can't imagine a day that's going to come where I won't be. I just love it. So yeah, if we can move in a direction towards, what we're really excited about, then I think it's going to be a success.
Yeah, I think especially right before 11/11, I started asking myself a question: is this joy or not? On every single subject. So I pretty much quit everything doesn't make me feel joyful, you know. whatever that is. So how do you know when you are having passion? So when you're having Saturday and Sunday, my old mentor was saying, my old coach was saying, work on the weekend. I don't want to work on the weekend. So unless my client is some clients they can only work on the weekend because they are housewife or whatever. That's the exception. I do work on the weekend, but I don't pause for that because to me I need a Saturday and Sunday. So when you rest Saturday and Sunday, but I usually end up doing something, like end up making the content or whatever, because I get suddenly inspired and then I have to post it, right? So I do that. That's, I don't call it work. And
Right.
then when Sunday is, Sunday night, I don't really feel anything like, oh my God, Monday has to come, like I had to coach tomorrow, I don't feel that way. But like when I was doing the job I don't like particularly, but I have to do it to pay bills. Um, I used to feel that way. I used to count like, okay, it's 7 o'clock and then till 12, like, oh, I only have a few hours until I have freedom. And then Monday I have to go back,
Go
when
back
you
to the
feel
old ball and chain.
Yeah, so when you start to feel like that way, um, it's not fun. So
Yeah.
not everybody do have a luxury of, okay, if you don't feel like it, if you don't feel joy or you don't feel passion, you can quit today. I understand that. So what you can do is to make a plan, exit plan until this day I'm going to quit, right? And they have backup plan. So you are gradually planning for you to quit this job. Sometimes universe throw you a curveball, so you don't know, like what's gonna happen to you. Um,
Well, I
that
had a friend who wanted to change jobs, and she took one college course a semester, and it did take a while, but she got there. She got her master's, and then she was doing what she really wanted to do, and she was really happy, and then she retired. Um, but we may not, like you said, we may not be able to make that quick shift to like, okay, I don't like what I'm doing. I'm going to quit it tomorrow. But it's a very different energy when you take a step in a direction towards your passion, than what we remember in the old 3D, like our parents and our ancestors that said, well, you don't have to like your job. It just has to pay the bills. Just suck it up and go anyway. That kind of attitude and belief system drains the life out of you. It makes
Yeah,
life not as exciting to be in. And so, sometimes it's a quick pivot for somebody to make it, jump into something else. And sometimes it takes a little bit of planning and maybe, one course a semester or a year of school. And then you can, and it doesn't have to be college. It could be a trade school. It could be a, a seminar where you learn how to do something new. Um, I was doing the marketing work when I took Dolores Cannon's quantum healing hypnosis technique course, and it did take me, at least a year before I was making any money doing sessions. um, but I enjoyed it so much I didn't care. It was like, and that made the other work that I was doing fine, because it's like, okay, I'm doing this job because I know I have to pay the bills, and I'm doing this work over here because it's fun and I'm excited about it. And then eventually more and more money and clients came in. But that's the thing, isn't it? If we stay in the old stuck 3D energy and just say, well, I have to suck it up because I've got a mortgage and I've got car and I've got kids and I've got blah, blah, blah. We can come up with 100 different reasons why not to go in the direction that we really want to go into. And then, so I would ask you, what good is the car in the house? I mean, you can't give the kids back really, once you have them, they're yours. But I mean, what good is all this stuff that costs money that, you're working for if you're not enjoying life?
Yeah,
Really.
it's really important.
It's 5D energy is as we continue to move in the direction of our passion, then the universe brings to us what we need, um, financially, like materially. Um, and people say, "Well, what, you got a magic wand or something?" That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, when we move forward and make efforts towards what we really want, the universe conspires with us to bring it to us. And so you might find opportunities for something that you didn't see ahead of time, but because you moved forward in the direction of what your desire is and what brings you joy, these possibilities can come into your energy field. And you go, "Oh, wow, that's cool. I didn't even see that coming." Right? Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, I encourage everybody to, think about what drives you, like what excites you, what kind of things can you see yourself doing? And even if you do your 9 to 5 job, for example, and you just said, "Yeah, I'm kind of a crafty person. I want to do crafts." Fine, do your crafts, do it on the side, and then there's craft fairs all the time, just for example, or car shows or whatever. Um, some people really like to fix up and drive around their old cars and take them to car shows and stuff like that. So that's not necessarily bringing money in, but that's not what we're talking about. We're not just talking about money. We're talking about quality of life. What excites you?
yeah, like our job, we spend like 8 hours a day. That's a huge amount of hours. If some of us happen to sleep 8 hours or six, um, that's like a lot of hours, right? So if you have to do it a lot in a day, and if you really don't like it, like feeling like, okay, Monday is coming, start getting really sad when Sunday, like late afternoon, because tomorrow is Monday. It's a really good idea for you to plan. First, you want to know what you want to do, what your passion is. And a lot of times when people are talking about what were you really passionate about when you're a little child, and then I'm the kind of person who knew what I exactly wanted from very very small age. I always wanted to get into entertainment industry, like when I was 3. So I made my dream come true. And then, my educational entertainment empire is kind of like still entertainment, but I wanted to put the more personal development thing mingle with it. So it's not exactly purely entertainment, but still like same thing as what I wanted to do. So like right now, you know, I'm focusing on personal development, making the courses, which is pretty similar to movie making. So let's say if your dream is to create like a $300 million movie or something, I'm just using an example. You don't have a $300 million yet. And then what you're gonna do is you start out with what you can do right now, something like moving toward your goal, right? So every day you're moving toward your goal and the forward and the stepping forward. So on the way to get there, you're still on the path of going there. So you're not, you're still going toward your dream,
Hmm.
So you feel really good about it every day because you're building your dream every day. So
Yeah.
those of you who are not like, you have a million of excuses why you cannot do what you want to do today, just moving toward that direction. If you like tarot card reading and then you want to be the leader, start reading for your friend or, start practice like that first if you're too shy of reading on the camera. I mean, or if you want to do, you want to sing or whatever, um, you can start singing at the karaoke or whatever. The whole point is now, even like you can make independent record now and they put on the iTunes, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So on the Spotify, so like there's no excuse you cannot do it, right? You can do it. Whole point is you
Oh,
want to make a decision of you want to do it and then moving toward that direction. Like, if you're a musician, start writing the lyrics or start writing the whatever the phrases come up into your head and then just gather that and then you wait until your inspiration comes and put all these notes on the music notes and then start hunting for other band members to record it, that kind of thing.
I got an interesting story for you. And I cannot think of this guy's name, but I do Photoshop, I learned it a long time ago and I use it with my marketing work. I do promotions for books. And anyway, so I kind of keep my nose in a little bit to find other people that are like really good at Photoshop and get tips and things like that. Well, there's this guy and I cannot think of his name, but he's a Photoshop expert and his name got to be well known after a little while. And then people would send him emails and saying, "Hey, I got this great picture, but there's this in it. Could you take it out for me? Or could you change it or whatever?" So he was doing that, but he must have been so inundated, like as a favor, as just a kind, because he loves doing the work. And so the creative part, but then he must have been in and absolutely inundated with requests to fix pictures for free. I'm sure people probably didn't want to pay, but he started doing funny things with their pictures. Like this one I'm thinking of, there was a man and woman and they had just gotten married and they were under a tent and the pole was in the picture. Otherwise, the picture was really nice. And they were like, "Can you remove the pole from this picture?" And he goes, "Sure." And what he sent them back was a they weren't even in the picture. There was a tent. He made it look like the tent collapsed. So it was the same background and everything. You knew it was the same picture, but he got rid of the pole, but he also got rid of the bride and groom.
Okay.
Some funny stuff. There was another one where this woman, she had a nice picture. She wanted to use it for a profile, but she had her hand up and she goes, "Could you add a bag in my hand so it looks like there's a reason why I have my hand up here?" And he put a garbage bag and in the background of the picture he put a big dumpster. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm totally amused by this guy. So anyway, he started doing something he enjoyed and he was good at, and he got very, very big and probably even too big. So he had to, do funny stuff. But now he's even more popular than ever. I imagine he can command pretty much whatever he wants to do the work. But he just really loves doing it and he's good at it and it's hysterical. I mean, so find some joy in what you're doing. That's the point, get passionate about it, even if it's a side gig. What does Chris like to say from Minnow Pond? Side hustle. Yeah, these tarot readers like to call things side hustles. So it's a side hustle. Who cares? As long as it's bringing you joy, I mean, that makes everything else more tolerable. And then eventually maybe your side hustle becomes your main gig.
Yeah, definitely. So whole point is not to be so chained into your old box because when you use brain, your brain only can get your data from your past incidents, and then it's trying to predict what's going to happen from past incidents, which is not really reliable analytical source.
Mm-mm.
Because when you started connecting with the universe and co-creating with the universe, your life and everything, because you started to live with heart-centered living and they started connecting with the joy, and then ask your question, is this joy for me or not? Because what this question is connected to your heart, not the brain. So then it's gonna bring you back into 5D kind of way of living, right? Because 5D living is joy, love, what else?
Ease.
Ease, right?
Ease and comfort. Because let's face it, when we're doing work that we love and feel joy with, it doesn't feel like work. It's like you're going to just do what you love.
Yeah, like I was building my educational course website, and then I was building from 9 p.m. and then it was 3, and then I didn't even think that was work. That was fun for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then
Yeah, one of the sessions I did was actually 11 hours long. And I mean, I was tired at the end of it, but when I realized that we had gone for 11 hours from the pre-session to the session to the post-session talking, I just was blown away. Oh, and we threw a meal in there in between, but still, it just didn't feel like 11 hours. It felt like maybe 5. And I don't know. I mean, that's the kind of work we want to do, right? When we're just doing it and we lose track of time, when maybe we forget to eat and then eventually we remember, but it doesn't matter because we're not thinking about it, right?
yeah, I mean, like the sign of whether you really like this job is you totally forget the time when you're doing it, you know, because
Yeah.
you are having so much fun. So, it is joyful for me is also the same as it is fun for me. Because sometimes, especially people who are doing spiritual related work, we are too much focusing on serving and then kind of forget about it is joy for me part.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong about asking that because while you're feeling joy while you're serving others, you're serving you and the others, like both, and you are part of others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's totally 5D way of living.
Yeah. So go for your passion.
Yeah,
Um, it's so cliche sounding, but really it's why is anything a cliche? Because it's true.
yeah,
So that's my point of view on cliches. It's like, yeah, sometimes we get tired of hearing, sometimes we have to say things in a different way, but if we pursue our passion and our joy, then other things are going to fall in place. And maybe even some things that weren't so tolerable. For example, if we're talking to maybe a healthcare professional and they've got 25 years in and they're getting pretty tired about it, but really for their financial security, they got to put that next 5 years in, to get the 30-year mark or whatever. Yeah, maybe that person's going to hesitate to leave that job. And however, maybe if they pick up maybe their passion is art, or working with foster kids, or coaching baseball, whatever. If they pick that up in addition to what they're currently doing, maybe what their current job isn't going to feel like such a drain because they've ignited their passion somewhere else.
yeah. Okay, so Sue and I are gonna bring more interesting topic next week. Thank you so much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, and we see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.